don't take it lightly, and I just want to say that I love you so much. You are a gift from God in my life, and you're a sister to me that I've never had but always wanted, and I love you with all my heart. And thank you for letting me be here with you today. And I want to take a few minutes to walk down memory lane to some of the experiences that I've had with Stevie and Mike, and with the bride and groom, the beautiful bride and groom. And I pray you guys are able to hear the love laced in every word. And so Stevie, it was about 3 years ago that you and I were sitting in your parked car. We were about to go on a hike, and we were talking about relationships and love, and you told me that you were done with thugs and lowlifes, and you said that you were not going to settle anymore, and that God was opening up your eyes and reshaping your identity. And your exact words were to me, girl, what was I thinking? I could marry a doctor if I wanted to. And after that, I watched you devote yourself to Jesus, and you married yourself to him, and you locked up your heart, gave God the key. And it was about 1 year later that Mike came up to you and tried to bribe you into getting to know him with a gift card to Tea Leaf. It worked though, because then after that, you guys started hanging out, and actually, Mike, you started to remind me of, I'm like a hopeless romantic, so you started to remind me of like Edward Cullen from Twilight, because you were always one step ahead of Stevie, and you were always taking care of her and looking out for her, even when you were like nowhere in sight. There were many times that me and Stevie would be in line at an event or a fundraiser, and by the time we're in line ready to buy something, we'd get to the front and they'd say, oh, Stevie, Brother Mike already paid for yours, or Brother Mike already took care of yours, and she'd be getting all this free stuff, and I'd look around like, where is this guy at? He's good. Like, I don't know where he comes from or where he goes, but it was very romantic. And then fast forward to Stevie and Mike's first date, they asked me to chaperone, and Mike paid not only for Stevie's meal, but he paid for mine as well. And because of that, I told Stevie that she can count on me any day. I will be there. But in all seriousness, Mike did this willingly every single time. Every time I chaperoned for them, and he never did it with a complaint or a grudge. And I realized that he just did this all so he could spend a little extra time with Stevie. And I thought it was very romantic, and I started to see that maybe she truly has found someone worthy of her love. And for those of you guys that don't know, ever since the very beginning, Mike has always prayed for Stevie before she gets out of his car. And it's the most beautiful thing ever. But the first time he did this, I almost had a heart attack because I'm in the back seat and it's dark, and it's nighttime, and all I could see was Mike completely leaned over onto Stevie's seat. And I started freaking out, and I was like, this is awkward. I feel like I should have paid for this. I was like, I need to say something. And then I could hear him praying for her over the music, though, and I was able to breathe again for the first time.
Oh, no.
And Stevie has always been a tough nut to crack. She is my best friend, and I always knew how guarded she was and the walls that she had, and I watched her like a hawk throughout all of this because I wanted to see how she was going to respond and how she was feeling, what was going through her mind, what was she thinking. And I was already rooting for Mike, though. I was like, I had a foam finger and a little flag that said, go Mike, go crack her code, because you know what, he pursued her in such beautiful and inspiring ways, and it was so beautiful to watch. And Stevie and Mike, you guys are truly a match made in heaven. And knowing both of you guys, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting caught mouth. Knowing both of you guys and looking back, I can see that you guys were meant for each other, and that God's fingerprint was on it from the very beginning. Because Stevie, I watched you dedicate yourself to God, and you fell in love with Jesus, and you served God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And Mike, I watched you dedicate your life to God as well, and you were sold out for Jesus, and you dedicated your life to serving God's church and God's people. And in God's perfect design, he readied both of you guys for what was to come next. Starting with the stirring in Mike's heart, he began to pray and intercede for Stevie, and God is giving you the courage to step out in faith towards the woman of your dreams. And you pursued her in a way that showed the way Christ pursues us and how he loves the church. You love Stevie the way Christ loves the church, and you laid down your life for her. And thank you for giving her that true love, and for being an example and setting the bar very high on how a man should pursue a woman with a pure and godly heart.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you guys. One last thing. Meanwhile, Stevie, God was working in your heart, doing a work in your heart and giving you the courage to let down your guard and dare to accept the vision of what could be. And you set an example and showed the blessing that comes when you let go of your fears and allow when you let go of your fears and allow yourself to love and be loved. And thank you for being so courageous and willing to love, because you inspired me and touched my heart through all of this, to see you reach out for something, even though you had many fears holding you at one point. And anyone who knows you two can see that you are meant for each other, and because of your courage and love, you are now blessed with the greatest gift of all. Today you two have become one flesh, and your individual lives were dedicated to the Lord, and I know your union will be no less. May you continue to keep God first and be faithful stewards of this beautiful journey designed just for you. I love you guys so much, and congratulations.
Yay!
And if we could all raise our glasses now to give a toast to the bride and groom. Alright, take our glass and drink it. To Stevie and Mike.